Welcome, super learners, to our latest Phonics Explainer. Today, we're hanging out with our bouncy, sunglasses-wearing purple letter E. And let me tell you, he is feeling extra energetic. He's here to lead us on a really fun, massive learning quest to discover the magic of the short E sound. If you've been working hard on your sounds and letters, you are in the exact right place to master some brand new reading skills.
So, let's dive right into this adventure. Our bouncy purple letter E just landed a super cool, stylish pose, and he's absolutely thrilled to be hanging out with you today. He's got a ton of energy to burn off, and honestly, there is no better way to do that than by tracking down some really fun vocabulary.
We are going on a massive scavenger hunt today to find 30 incredibly silly words. But here's the catch. Every single one of these words has that bouncy eh sound right in the middle, or sometimes right at the end. So get ready, keep those eyes and ears wide open, because these clues are going to take us on a pretty wild ride. Here is our treasure map for today. First, the energetic letter E. Then, the ed word family, the et word family, the N and egg families, the extra fun mix, and finally, you are a reading superstar.
All right, level 2, the ed word family.
Now think about this. Even though B-E-D and R-E-D start with completely different letters, they share that exact same ed ending. That means they rhyme perfectly. And honestly, that is the amazing secret trick to reading word families. Once you know the sound at the end, you just have to swap out the very first letter to magically make a brand new word.
Let's see how these 6 words build our hunt, and how just swapping that first letter takes us to a totally new place. Imagine getting ready to go to sleep and jumping into a huge, fluffy, incredibly comfy bed at the end of the day. But wait, before you can go to sleep, you remember your pet bird is hungry. You hop out, grab some seeds, and make sure your bird is perfectly fed. Now it's kind of dark in the house, so you grab a bright flashlight and you allow yourself to be led safely down the long hallway. Suddenly, you press a button on that flashlight and the beam completely changes color, turning the whole world a bright, glowing red. But the surprises do not stop there. As you walk into the kitchen, you literally stumble upon a very silly toaster who is standing at an altar about to wed another kitchen appliance in a beautiful toaster wedding. And who's the special guest officiating this wedding? Well, it's a funny little bear named Ted. See, by just switching one letter at a time, we traveled all the way from a comfy bed to a literal toaster wedding.
Moving right along to level 3, the et word family.
Now, we're listening really carefully for that bouncy et sound at the end of our words. Think about heading outside on a gorgeous sunny day and taking a large, long-handled net into the garden to catch some fluttering butterflies. While you're exploring, you stop to scratch the ears of a giant, goofy dog who just loves to be a wonderful pet. Out of nowhere, you hear a massive roaring noise above you, and a super-fast airplane, a jet, zooms right through the clouds. It circles around, lands right in your backyard, and the door opens. Out steps a friendly green alien who you have officially just met. But watch out. The spaceship's rockets accidentally splash a giant puddle of water all over you, and now you're completely, totally wet. Luckily, our final friend is there to help dry everyone off. They're wearing a bright white coat, carrying a stethoscope, ready to help animals and aliens alike as a pretend vet. Just like that, we crack 6 more words just by listening for that et sound.
Next up, level 4, the N and egg families.
We are literally unlocking 2 new families at once in this level. Let's start by listening closely for the N sound. In our first clue, we hear some music playing and see a very happy, feather-shaking, dancing chicken, which of course is a hen. Right next to that chicken, someone is using a bright blue pen to draw a giant, curly, incredibly funny mustache on a piece of paper. After all that intense drawing and dancing, it's definitely time to take a rest. You find a dark, cozy, warm bear cave in the woods to take a nap in, also known as a den. When you wake up, you notice a group of funny stick-figure men dancing around the cave. With all this wild activity happening, our bouncy purple E decides he just needs a moment of absolute peace. He sits down on a quiet mat, closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, and folds his hands in a calm pose to find his perfectly quiet zen.
Now, you might have noticed I skipped one word in that last group. I did that on purpose because it's a huge milestone. Our next word is 10, celebrated with 10 loud, colorful, popping balloons. It's actually a great reminder that numbers are words too, and they follow the exact same phonics rules.
Okay, now we're shifting over to the egg sound.
Notice how the eh and the g sound come together in this really fun, almost bouncy way? Let's start with breakfast. Imagine a white, wobbly, perfectly cracked egg sitting right on the kitchen counter, just waiting to be cooked. But sitting just below that counter is a very hopeful dog with big, pleading eyes, trying his absolute hardest to beg for a tasty morning treat. Next to the pup, our purple character is getting his exercise in by giving his leg a really good, energetic wiggle to loosen up for the day. And finally, it's time to help out with some household chores. You grab a small wooden clip, known as a peg, to hang up some freshly washed clothes on a long line outside in the warm sun. Think about how those words feel when you say them out loud, combining the eh and the g for that perfect egg ending.
Moving on to level 5, the extra fun mix.
Our final clues are a complete rapid-fire mix. We're looking for all sorts of different ways the E sound can hide in a word. We start by walking through the woods and carefully stepping around a delicate, sticky spider web spun between two trees. After that hike, we need to build our energy back up, so we do some huge, energetic jumping jacks to build up our pep. Suddenly, we hear the loud buzzing of a silly, striped bee flying right past our noses, and it leads us straight to a shiny, golden key, where our special letter E is actually hiding all the way at the exact end of the word. Our purple friend is so excited by this discovery that he throws his hands up in the air to shout a massive, "Yes!" Then he sits down to carefully sew the bottom edge of a red superhero cape to make a perfect hem. After his sewing is done, he gets to play with a shiny, brand-new toy robot that just arrived in the mail. And finally, after all this hard work, he sits back and enjoys just a few tasty chocolate chip cookies as a reward. I mean, this mix completely proves that the energetic letter E can do some pretty incredible things inside of different words.
And finally, level 6, you are a reading superstar.
Look at that massive, wonderful number. You successfully hunted down, unlocked, and learned all 30 E words today. From catching butterflies in the yard to witnessing completely silly toaster weddings, you stuck with it all the way to the end. But more importantly, you listened closely for those specific bouncy sounds. You realized that by just swapping the very first letter of a word, you could totally crack the phonics code and build 30 completely different words from scratch.
So you are officially a reading superstar. Hit that subscribe button for our next explainer adventure, and be sure to tell us, out of all of them, which silly E word was your absolute favorite today. I am so glad we got to tackle this energetic learning quest together. Keep practicing those words, keep having fun with reading, and I will catch you on the next one.